For Central North Carolina, our weekly briefing that'll cover the period Thursday, August 14th through next Wednesday, August 20th. I'm meteorologist Andrew Crennan here at the Weather Service in Raleigh. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, so overall, through the week, at least the upcoming next 7 days, high temperatures are going to be, anywhere from plus or minus 3 degrees around normal. So anywhere from slightly near normal to slightly below normal. And right now our averages are kind of in the mid to upper 80s in the area. So our highs generally will be mid to upper 80s to some low 90s. The cooler days will be when we, have those thunderstorms in the forecast, and then those slightly warmer and more humid days will be when we kind of dry out, which will kind of be potentially this weekend. We do have a mid-level disturbance today that will bring showers and storms to the area. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next couple slides. That's going to bring a risk for additional heavy rain again today, like we saw yesterday, but I think a different focus area will be where we will be watching this afternoon and evening. There'll also be an isolated strong to severe storm possible, and I'll talk about where that might be as well. And then we have a weakening cold front that will kind of keep storms in the forecast on Friday, although coverage doesn't appear to be as widespread as we have had in the past couple of days. So that's a good thing. I do think as we get into the weekend, we're going to actually dry out. Not necessarily humidity is not going to go down, but we will dry out, especially Sunday and Monday. And then there looks like there could be another cold front approaching by the middle of next week, sometime Wednesday, Thursday, and that will probably lead to storms kind of coming back into the forecast, especially as we get into the middle to latter part of next week. Rainfall forecast for the next 5 days. Today is going to be probably the wettest day of the next several days, at least through Monday. Today, isolated pockets of 1 inch or 2 inches across our southeastern areas like the Sandhills and the coastal plain. Other areas will have certainly that rain chance, but I think your more widespread rainfall threat is going to be across the east, mainly east of US 1 today. Tomorrow, I think, we do have still a marginal risk for some rain, excessive rain on Friday, but coverage is probably going to be more limited. And then Saturday, probably just more or less isolated activity. And then Sunday and Monday, we're fairly dry, with maybe some chances returning Monday, but primarily across the higher elevations to our west. All right, so I did talk about the heavy rainfall threat today and parts of tomorrow. So today there is a slight risk of excessive rain, and you can see that kind of covers portions of the Sandhills up into basically the coastal plain of central North Carolina and then towards the coast of North Carolina. Tomorrow, there's pretty much a marginal risk everywhere. Coverage is going to be more isolated tomorrow, so confidence tomorrow is not as high as maybe today. I'll talk a little bit about where we're expecting the heavy rain as we get a couple slides from now. Those are the two areas we're focusing on. And then Saturday, rain chances really start to drop off, so any excessive rain will shift well into South Carolina and western parts of the state. So that isolated flooding that we have possible today, greatest from this afternoon into mid to late evening hours, roughly between 1 o'clock and maybe 10 o'clock. Areas that have already received rain will be susceptible, as well as areas that may have near urban areas. We could see some excessive runoff as well of creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. So as always, just monitor the forecasts and be alert for any warning products that end up being issued. Certainly can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm, and I'll discuss that as well. So this is our latest radar as of the last 10 minutes ago. You can see that there is kind of a little swirl over the central part of South Carolina, and that's basically where that mid-level disturbance is currently located. Pretty much what we've been watching the last 24 hours, the system will continue to track towards kind of the east-northeast over the next 12 to 18 hours. As it gets into the evening hours, it kind of moves more into like the North Carolina, South Carolina line, and then eventually towards the coast by tomorrow. So as this kind of moves up into the area, I think we're going to have that chance for storms kind of picking up basically from the eastern sandhills into the coastal plain. I think if I had to pinpoint an area where that kind of isolated severe threat might be, it would kind of be in this highlighted region right in here. I think the next 1 or 2 hours we should see development pick up in this area, especially as that disturbance tracks towards the east and northeast. So in that area, we could see some isolated strong to severe storms. And anything that does come out, obviously, we will have that go through the system. Certainly in that area too, looks like the heaviest rain threat will exist there as well, especially as you go into towards the coast, just to the northwest of Wilmington. So overall, severe thunderstorm threat the next several days. We don't have anything necessarily outlooked today, but we do have that isolated strong to severe storm possible over the coastal plain into this evening. And then otherwise, not expecting any widespread severe weather Friday and Saturday, and we are not in any kind of general thunder the rest of the period. I'm sure some of you are interested in the tropics because they've started to become a little bit more active, and this is right around the time when late August, mid to late August to into September when we start to reach the peak. We are watching, I'll talk about Aaron in a minute, but right now there's an area of interest kind of over the Bay of Campeche, which is kind of in the southwestern Gulf. There's a broad area of low pressure producing showers and storms. I believe they're actually doing a flight into the system to kind of take more investigation to see what's going on with it. Right now, there's no threat with the system to the Carolinas, but it may move to the west and northwest, potentially developing into a tropical system. And then for Aaron, right now it's located some 900 plus miles east of the Leeward Islands. It's got maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. It is forecast to strengthen to a hurricane tomorrow and actually become a major hurricane later this weekend on Sunday. Right now, the majority of the guidance that we are looking at shows that it recurves and eventually stays offshore, east of the Carolinas. However, it's still, too early to fully tell, but overall confidence is showing that maybe it may end up staying offshore, which would be a good thing. But any changes will certainly keep you updated. 8 to 14-day outlook. Really, temperatures are going to kind of stay where they will be the next, 3 to 7 days, where temperatures are going to be close to normal, generally in the mid to upper 80s, and then precipitation-wise will be slightly above normal through the period. Our graphical hazardous weather outlook. Obviously, today we've got the lightning and the rainfall threat today and Friday, but we also have there's some orange showing up there in the heat, but we're not expecting any dangerous heat indices these next couple of days or even through the middle of next week. We don't anticipate those risks. So weather summary, we have those temperatures through the period. They're going to be ranging from the mid to upper 80s to some low 90s. We'll have showers and storms in the forecast today and tonight, and also tomorrow. probably more widespread this afternoon, evening compared to probably tomorrow. We have that threat of an isolated strong to severe storm over the coastal plain today, as well as a heavy rainfall risk today and Friday. We'll see some drier weather develop this weekend into early next week before looks like another front will approach from the north and increase our storm chances come Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.